Welcome to the third Social Media Week event that Harbour City hosts this year. I hope you have already got some food and drinks, and we'll have a very interesting 2 hours of sharing from our friends from different parts of the world. And I hope we'll make this as fun and interactive as we can be. And this whole event, besides about 100 of us here, is also live stream, and people from all over can see us and interact with us. So I hope we'll make this fun, and then do try to tweet and share more about your experience here. So tonight is actually about fashion and beauty. So I can see a lot of brandings representatives in the room, and we also have a very wonderful lineup of speakers. But before we begin today, I think some of you may be aware that Social Media Week is actually a global event that is simultaneously happening in 12 different cities around the world, and Hong Kong happens to be one of them. We have to give a big thank you to Jay Otway, who has been working so hard to make this happen. Brought this event to Hong Kong, and also helped since last year set up a HKSocial group every first Friday of each month. Jay has got a special group, a sharing session that he will share his passion, all the insight about the latest happenings in social media, and also invite guests in different industries to come and share. Maybe Jay can also tell us a little bit more about HKSocial. And at the same time, he is kind enough to go around the different events that happens every day during this week. And he has already done a wrap up for us for today. And may I pass the mic to Jay so that he can tell us a little bit more about what happened today for those who have missed it, and also a little bit more about HKSocial and Social Media Week. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Hello, folks. Yes, HKSocial was born after last year's Social Media Week. A number of us, much like yourselves, who were really interested in social media, decided to get together with some coffee. There was 12 of us to begin with. We're now 420. And I'd invite you to join those ranks. It is a group of people just like yourselves who are really interested in how social media is going to affect our lives, how it's going to affect work, how it's going to affect play, and everything we do. So, without talking much more about HKSocial, on to Social Media Week. So today, anybody here joined the fashion stuff this morning? Yeah, a couple, great. Well, for those of you who missed it, good thing I'm here. We had a great panel this morning on emerging fashion and social media. One of our wonderful local bloggers, Jasmine Webster. Big cheer if everybody knows Jasmine. Yay, Jasmine. Yeah, she's also an HKSocial member. Jasmine made an interesting point this morning. Pinterest is so on trend right now. Who here doesn't know what Pinterest is? Come on, show your hands, be brave. See, everybody in the room knows. I was going to make a bet earlier in the week. We every time we hear the word Pinterest, we should all do the wave or something. It's being said so much. She was also really keen on Instagram. Are there Instagram users? Yeah? Instagram's quite a bit different for those who don't know. It's an iPhone app. It lets you take pictures and makes anybody a better photographer with its cool filters. She really liked taking pictures of fashion and things with it. Now, she's also talking about the evolution of bloggers and how she's really busy. She works really, really hard on her blog, talking to lots and lots of people. And for those of you with the fashion brands that are trying to reach fashion bloggers, don't send her press releases. In fact, I think most bloggers agree that it's time to move beyond that. It's all about connections. It's all about calling them up, making personal introductions, and getting to know them better on a one-to-one. We also had Sassy Hong Kong in the house. Any Sassy fans here? Yeah. No? Yes? I like them. Woo! Maura's big takeaway from this is stay connected to your customer base. You know, you've got to really, as brands, as bloggers, always be talking to people in real time. And for those of you who are with the brands, she was really big on making sure that you bring your customers into the store, that doing e-tailing or just showing things on Pinterest isn't enough, that what you really want to do is giving them a chance to feel things, and to meet the people behind the designs. Really important to get that discussion going in real life. Find fashion bloggers that believe in your designs. Now, this is more advice for the small designers out there. You've got to build You've got to build bridges. And build bridges back to the real world. This is a real common theme this morning that was echoed again by Oscar Bajeas, who's got a brand consultancy. Keep it simple. Don't forget the real world. Always just talk about the real world. You think social media is all about being online. I think it's a lot less about the media and more about the social. He was also talking about the collaboration factor today. We all have to team up now. We have to get together with our fans. We have to get together sometimes with especially if you're a small brand. He was suggesting, with some of your fellow designers, try to collaborate. Don't try and do everything yourself. And for those of you who do have social media presence online, don't treat it like brochureware. You've got to really get in there and get the discussions going. His advice was his suggestion was that you're not really building your brand unless you have an ongoing discussion. And most importantly, especially for the bloggers in the room, you've got to stay positive. Negativity will attract no love at all. We had Anthony Hill, creative director of his own firm. Small brands need to get social, to get their name out. Big magazines aren't going to look at you until the bloggers start to look at you. So there's this whole ecosystem that you've got to learn to master to climb your way up. That's Anthony there. But of course we had the big magazines in the house as well. Elle was there. And she was saying also, she's working backwards towards the brands by going through the bloggers, sort of from a top-down perspective. Anybody from Burberry here? Whatever you guys are doing on social media is really blowing the hair back of everybody this morning. They're going on and on about Burberry's. I haven't seen it yet, but tonight I'm going to go home and have a look. But what Elle really liked about this and what brands should be looking at doing is creating exclusive content for various bloggers rather than trying to create big traditional ads that go everywhere. She liked the idea that she could get her hands on something cool. Later in the morning, we had China Trending, social media trends and phenomena in China. We opened up with Robin Gu, who had some interesting research about the phenomena of what he called, of network culture. The network culture is quite, here, let me fix this. Sorry, technical difficulties. So he was saying that the network culture, and this is sort of, the jokes, the memes, the online sort of ways that people were talking, was now becoming reflected in everything mainstream in daily life. Movies are picking up on it, TV's picking up on it, brands are using it in their advertising. And the point was, if you weren't getting online and following this sort of new network culture, there was no way that you were really going to be able to engage with people. He said even the government and the police are using it in their propaganda now. Oops, my thing's not moving. Can you hit the next? Really crashed it, didn't we? My apologies, everybody. While that's loading, I'll give you a brief summary of the rest of that panel. We had, as for the other trends, we were looking at luxury growth in China. By 2013, it's predicted that China will make up 20% of the global luxury market. This is a huge step up. Can you just, Seasons? Yes. Can you just hit the play button at the bottom corner there for me? There's always technical difficulties, right? Here we go. The internet was so yes, Avery was talking about how much growth there's been. His company was founded in a time when luxury brands still didn't quite get it. But he's saying how things have changed so much. A question was asked in the audience if social media goes against the exclusivity of luxury, and he was firmly of the belief that leading luxury brands now see social media as an absolute necessity. also believes that people in China, in his experience, work a lot harder for virtual status symbols like badges and things like that. He found contests like that work much, much better. People willing to share photos. And he said even poetry in order to get a badge. And he was saying that in all the markets he manages outside of China, looks at outside of China, that doesn't happen nearly as much to the same extent. He also really liked Burberry. He ate Burberry this morning in a big way. Yeah, I know. I was hoping for a trench coat. Anyway, so much fun. Location-based social. That's check-ins on your phone are really big. In China, they don't have Foursquare. They got Jipang instead, which was in the house. Saying they got 2 million users there and 20,000 in Hong Kong. Is there any in here today? Anybody? One in the front? You got 2, 3, 4. Who's going to find the other 19,997? But yeah, it's taking off. And he had this great term, and I think this really applies to retailers everywhere. So we're going to be talking a lot more about O to O, this online to offline, or even offline to online, this back and forth between the virtual world and the physical world, and the absolute importance of transitioning back and forth. And he really felt that location-based services, check-in services, things that offered incentives for people to come to the store, and even Jipang, which could announce events and like real occasions that you should show up at the store. He had all sorts of ideas. He really thought he had to go beyond badges today as well. He's really trying to evolve the service, so it's not just about the virtual badges now, but trying to make really cool, interesting things happen in the store to drive traffic to the site. And he had I know it's sort of badly taken photo, but you can sort of see the glowing bits around China. That's where everybody's checking in. Somehow the desert's a bit empty otherwise. They need some more luxury brands out there. Carrie Wang, digital director of Phone Wolf in Shanghai. She was talking mostly about how brands are using Weibo and offering some social commerce insights on that this morning. Mostly her big thing was it was too much to put into a slide. She had some really in-depth discussions on how you target key opinion leaders, and my takeaway from it was, oh my God, this is really, really complicated. It is very, very challenging stuff, and I think, if you are going to be targeting key opinion leaders, you'd be wise to go and look for somebody like this who has a really deep understanding of how it's all working. Moving on in the morning, actually moved to this afternoon, to a big jump. Anybody who was downstairs prior to this? A couple of us. We're having some fun in the world of travel. We had Anna Kasayagaram. I can't say her name, sorry. She's from Finland, but she's lovely. She's really, really nice. Met her, talked to her a bit. She had this great story about Finnair doing Angry Birds on a plane. But what they did is they first ran an online contest, which was tied to Angry Birds. And from that, they managed to find a plane load full of people that they gave a free flight from Helsinki to Singapore. And for 11 hours, they made them play Angry Birds. They didn't have to, but she said surprisingly how many of them volunteered to play Angry Birds for nearly 11 hours. And so they ran the competition on board the plane. Angry Birds was involved with it, really quite progressive, letting them do all sorts of neat things. And then there was winners on the plane who got also more prizes for their amazing Angry Bird efforts. That's one way to pass a flight, I suppose. But they also talked a lot about building these new teams of quality hunters, a mix of their own teams and of customers, and about trying to go around and this idea of quality customer service, about finding ways in your business to improve what's going on, listening to opinions, getting more people involved. It's about really being active now, and rather than sort of standing in our ivory towers and trying to decide what we should change. I think what Finnair has really proven to do is to get down on the ground and start to really listen, which has always been a key message of social media, is that listening part. So they're quality hunters who go around looking for ways that Finnair can do better. One of the things they decided to do was empower employees. I know it's a terrifying thing over here in Asia, but in Finland they're very brave. And so they basically said, if you guys got some neat ideas, you go and do what you want to do. And a bunch of flight attendants decided on their own, they put together this Bollywood dance routine to celebrate India's Republic Day, which I think is a really sweet sort of touch. And I'll show you a little clip of it if the internet works. Sorry, there's no sound with it, but So they're going to flight to Delhi. People are loading on the plane, doing the usual sort of thing, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, here we go, Bollywood dancing in the aisles, all filing way down, doing their thing, having a lot of fun, and they shot the video to go with it. Now, any guesses how many views? Anybody? 10, 20 views, 20,000 views? How about 4.3 million views? Do you think their marketing department could have done that? I don't know. Maybe. I think that those flight attendants all deserve a bonus this year. And this is what you get for empowering employees. You never know what sort of extra bonuses you might get. Ricky too, from Galaxy Macau, he was over. He had a really interesting little idea. He showed us some wedding promo videos that they were using through some Facebook ads and whatnot. And I think the interesting thing of what he did was they were targeting women who had changed their status updates from single or in a relationship to engaged. And this is interesting because in our lives there are big moments like this that are key opportunities. And so they were offering wedding parties and sort of wedding services, trying to attract you to come and use Galaxy Macau as a wedding destination. And but they were really careful. He was really key to point out there's no point in sending this to the men. They don't ever decide anything about the wedding. And again, he echoed this sentiment we've been hearing a lot this week. Don't just upload your marketing material. That is not what social is about. It's about inviting influencers in to experience it, to feel what's going on, to start building those relationships and get them talking about it in their own words. Because nobody believes your marketing material. Nobody. But they will believe the other people, even complete strangers, much more than they'll believe you. And Frederick Chan, that's a picture of him there. He's from Disneyland Resort, and that's actually not really him. He said it's hard to communicate the Disney magic in a traditional ad. It's too much. It's too much of an experience to sum it up in a picture of a mouse. And so he says what really works well, of course, is making it as easy as possible, as many places as possible, for his guests to share that magic themselves, to take their pictures of themselves, give them reasons to take pictures, to share those moments, to talk about how much fun they're having. There's nothing he can advertise that would do better than that. And finally, we had a little internet meme action ourselves. The Phu Kai girls from Taiwan, who are a big deal apparently, and a big deal for doing this. This is called planking, for those of you who missed the 2011 meme. And this is network culture. This is the language of the internet. And so all of us, of course, wanting to be literate in the language of the internet, we all learned how to plank today. So it's really not that hard. It's harder if you want to balance on something, but this is okay. Start on the floor. You'll be fine. All right, folks. Thank you so much. I'm J.O. Wade. That's
We really have to give a big round of applause to Jay again because he has been doing such a great job. And I do admire his passion in sharing all his knowledge about social media. And I personally and our team have learned a lot from Jay over the past year. So if you
stop giving it away for free.
But you will on HKSocial gathering every first Friday, and look out from meetup.com, HKSocial, and then you will find out where we are, usually in Pure Bar in Soho. So the upcoming one will be the 2nd of March. Yeah, he will definitely be doing an overview and a lot of sharing. If you're interested to find out more, the latest and the coolest thing, which Pinterest is something that...
We've also got a few other HKSocial people in the house. Wave your hands. You can talk to them.
Oh, yes.
Back.
Also, Jocelyn, Elle, and many people. And also a big thank you to Impact, right, for bringing this
all of those people.
Yes,
go talk
beautiful
to
event to Hong Kong. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jay. And he's been helping us a lot in sharing. If anybody is interested in the two lovely girls, they're actually planking downstairs in front of our chocolate fountain right now. But I have asked them to come up later on during our break. And if anyone wants to do a planking, we can definitely do it with them because this was something that happened just now. And today I also have Brian Cha. Brian, can you set up a fitness coach and a nutritionist that you can do planking with the two girls? I'm sure this will be real cool. Yes, you can go down and join SK now for the planking in the chocolate fountain. Yes. Anyway, without further ado, we'll start.